So we're all swimming in this AI world, right? But how do you actually get it to do what you want it to do? Well, the secret isn't some complex code. It's a whole new skill called prompt engineering. And honestly, mastering this is the key to unlocking some truly mind-blowing results from any AI model out there.
And look, this isn't just some niche hobby. When the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, was asked what new jobs AI was creating, this was literally his first answer. That single comment pretty much cemented prompt engineering as a legitimate, super valuable skill in this new world we're in. It's not just about typing sentences, it's a real craft.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about why prompting is a real skill, not just a gimmick. Then, we'll dive into the most important concept of all, world building. After that, we'll get into some seriously powerful techniques, look at how to turn AI into your own personal coach, and finally, how to make its writing actually sound like you.
Okay, let's dive right into our first section. The thing to get is that effective prompting isn't some magic trick you learn once and you're done. No, it's a skill you have to develop, a lot like becoming a good manager or just a really clear communicator.
You know, it's funny. People have noticed that the ones who get incredible results from AI are often great managers in their day jobs. And why is that? It's because both roles boil down to the exact same core skill, being able to communicate a vision with absolute clarity. The better you can explain the goal, the better the outcome's going to be. Doesn't matter if you're talking to a human or an AI. So that brings us to what I think is the single most important idea in this entire explainer, and that's the art of world building. This is your number one job, your top responsibility every time you sit down to write a prompt. So, what on earth is world building? Well, think of it as feeding the AI all the necessary context, giving it all the puzzle pieces, so it can understand the unique world that's living inside your head. And here's the crucial part. That's your responsibility, not the AI's. If you don't build the world for it, the AI is forced to guess. And let me tell you, it will almost always guess wrong. And this is just the perfect example, right? A lazy prompt like, give me 5 ideas for a video. I mean, that's giving the AI 0 puzzle pieces. It has no world to work with, so what does it do? It spits out the most generic, boring ideas you can imagine. But when you build a world for it, minimalist design, small apartments, young professionals, suddenly you've given it a specific universe to pull from, and the results are so much more targeted and actually useful. Okay, to really nail this down, let's try a little thought experiment, an analogy. Imagine I'm prompting you. I tell you about a world made entirely of sand. It is incredibly dry, so everyone has to wear these special suits just to recycle and reclaim moisture from the very air they breathe. You're starting to get a picture in your head, right?
Okay, you with me? Let's add another piece to this puzzle. This world has these huge mountains of sand, and powerful families are locked in a constant war, fighting over some precious, special resource that's hidden deep within that sand. See? I've just given you a few more puzzle pieces for your mental model.
All right, here's the question for you. Based only on those details I've given you, if I asked what kind of giant creatures would live in this world, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? I'm willing to bet you thought of sandworms, right? And any large language model would have done the same thing. Why? Because I gave you enough context, sand, scarcity, a special resource, that your brain, just like an AI, filled in the blanks using the most familiar references it could find, which in this case is the world of Dune. If I had just asked for a world with a big creature, you never would have gotten there. That is the power of world building. Okay, so we've got the big idea down. Now let's get into the good stuff. The actual practical techniques you can start using like right now. First up, a technique called meta prompting. This is kind of like using one AI to help you talk to another AI. So let's say you want to generate an amazing image, but you're not a pro at writing those super detailed image prompts. No problem. You just describe the whole world and the scene in plain English to a text AI like ChatGPT, and then ask it to create an optimized, rich prompt specifically for an image AI like Midjourney. It knows exactly what kind of details to include to get you the best result.
Next up, we've got personas. This one is super useful. You can actually tell an AI to adopt a specific role or character, and it will totally change its output. So instead of just saying, explain Faraday's law simply, you could ask it for 3 different versions, one for a 5-year-old, one for a 10-year-old, and one for a physics student. Each explanation will be completely different in its depth and style, so you can learn at exactly the right level for you.
All right, now for something a little different. It's called dark prompting. And yeah, it sounds a bit intense. The idea is you can actually improve an AI's accuracy by adding emotional weight or a sense of urgency. A prompt like this one, with these made-up high stakes, often pushes the model to be more careful and less likely to just make stuff up, especially when you need really precise data. So you're probably thinking, how in the world does that work? Well, it's actually pretty fascinating. These AI models are trained on mountains of human writing. And in all that text, language that's tied to urgency or high stakes or importance is often followed by writing that's more precise, factual, and careful. So by using these emotional triggers, you're tapping into those learned patterns in the AI's data and nudging it toward a much more focused answer. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. We've talked about getting stuff from AI, but what about using it to learn about ourselves? You can actually use AI as a powerful tool for self-reflection, almost like a personal coach. Seriously, this next prompt might be one of the most powerful things you can ask an AI. After you've had a long back and forth with an AI about a topic you're really into, you can just ask it this simple question. It'll actually analyze your side of the conversation to find potential blind spots or gaps in your thinking. It's like having a totally neutral third party point out what you don't even know you don't know. And the results can be mind-blowing. For example, maybe you're talking about human behavior, and the AI might point out that you're totally missing the concept of costly signaling. This idea from psychology that people show their commitment or status through actions that are really expensive or difficult. This one simple prompt can open up whole new worlds of learning you would have never stumbled upon by yourself. And you don't have to stop there. Think of it as your personal research assistant or coach. Ask it what you should learn next based on your interests. Use it to deconstruct really complex topics you hear about, like asking it to break down the supposed $100 million budget of a big video game. Or if you want to get really deep, you can ask it to help you identify contrarian beliefs you might hold that your peers don't. All right, let's tackle our last big topic, and it's one we've all experienced. That text that just screams, "I was written by AI." You know what I'm talking about. It's generic, it's a little soulless. So how do we fix it? How do we make AI-assisted writing sound human again? And this is a real thing, you know? It's not just in your head. Researchers have actually found that something like 18% of financial consumer complaints already have those telltale signs of being written by AI. It's becoming so common that our brains are getting trained to spot it, and you really don't want your work to be instantly dismissed as robotic. So what's the fix? How do you avoid that robotic AI stamp on your work? Well, here are a few killer tips. First, cut out those classic AI phrases like X is more than just Y, and just use direct, confident sentences. You can also ask it to blend the writing styles of authors you really admire. But the most powerful method of all? Feed the AI a big sample of your own writing from before you started using AI, and just tell it, write like this. And that really brings us to a final, bigger idea to chew on. We almost always think about AI as a tool for productivity, to get more stuff done faster. But after seeing how it can find our knowledge gaps, challenge our beliefs, and even learn our unique voice, maybe there's a deeper purpose here. What if AI's greatest gift isn't about making us more efficient, but about helping us become more self-aware? Definitely something to think about.